Like it was the best Galaxy game. But it still was not a good game. Hot takes. Welcome in, chatters.
I want to comment hot today because we were talking about this just before we went live. And before I mention anything here, I want to say hello to each and every one of you who are here today in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for canceling subscribing in tier 1 for 5 months. Happy 5 months, lads. Can't stay, but I hope you have a good show. How many pizza rolls is too many? What's the minimum? What's the minimum amount? So like you get a bag of pizza rolls, right? Let's just say you get the Sam's Club pizza rolls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many do you make at a time?
Oh shoot. For me alone, by myself?
All of them.
Hang on. Bullfrog just said 6 is too many. Now here, I don't know if pizza roll is the same thing in Australia land as it is in America land. But what we're talking about is a little puff pastry pocket filled with some sauce and some mozza. And maybe sometimes a little bit of meat. Sometimes. Depends on if you find them. I got the ones that are filled with meat in that pocket. So for me, 25? 25 is my limit.
At 25.
So here's the thing: is you mentioned like pop them in the air fryer. The thing is like the air fryer was not invented the last time I was back home in the States. So like the idea of putting these little guys in the pizza roll air fryer. I mean, come on.
You just keep going. You just listen 25 at a time and just go until you can't have any more. Is that the goal?
Oh no.
By the way, I like how no one's pointed out that we're twinning. Yeah.
No, nobody said it. You shouldn't have said anything.
What do you mean? I saw somebody in there saying you were twins.
Who said it? Who said it? You tell me who in the chat said it.
Mrs. Nerd said it.
Mrs. Nerd, get out of here.
We're wearing the same shirt. So thank you everybody for being here. This is episode 37, is that correct?
Yeah.
37.
In the wise words of my ancestors, oh my God.
Oh, I thought that was going somewhere else.
I need to know what other wise words your ancestors said.
I don't know. It's fine.
You don't know? Okay.
How don't you know?
I don't know. KB, what the heck's going on? You're over there, you're looking like Samurai.
Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
You were going there.
That's where I was going.
Or Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai.
Yeah.
I'm getting in touch with my Ronin side. You know what I mean? That's all. It's a little hot. It's a little hot today. A little hot. It's like 87 degrees and humid here, so it's a little hot. Hair's up on hot days. It's mostly up.
Did the chair break again? Because you're like about 3 inches lower than the rest of us.
I probably did. It's probably I'll probably have to like take the vice grip off and tighten it a little bit. There you go.
Heighten him, fade him out, and then just throw in a pink background behind there. It'd be fine. I'll draw like a body for him, and we can just like put it on there. It'll be fine.
God! I mean,
yeah.
I've been in worse places.
Oh,
but yeah, my chair's slowly leaking again, so I have to tighten up the old vice grip, man. And
shoot, we could do it body with legs. That'd be funny if it was just like your big old head on an entire body with legs.
It'd be nice because I don't have legs, man. I don't have a pair of legs. I gotta use Toad's
has no legs.
Man. Yeah, I have no legs. Where you been?
What?
You're just one of those streamers who takes it too far. Your personality is from like your diaphragm up.
I mean, I'm dead from the neck down,
here, man. Right here up.
Everything else is fake.
That's all. I'm just just call me Xavier. That's all.
Eric, how was your week? Yeah. I know your mom pieced out. You just said after I said how was your week. Yeah. I had one.
That was bad. Yeah, it was definitely a week. It was a week. Oh, we'll be back to reality here on Monday.
Back to work, huh?
Yep.
Allegedly. You miss it?
Allegedly?
Do I miss work?
Yeah, you miss work?
I just miss having the time to sit and edit videos. That's all. So that's it. Because I love it. As you know, like I go to work, I do a couple things during the week, but aside from that, like I'm just sitting and editing stuff. So I'm way behind on work and all that. So I'll be catching up on stuff going forward. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to edit last week's episode. So as soon as I hit the desk 9 a.m. Monday, last week's episode is getting cut up. This episode will get cut up, posted all around. So yeah, back to reality. I will say though, after having my mother visit for 3 weeks, the airport drop-offs get more difficult as time goes on, because I'm left with this identity crisis of like, I should be going on the plane too. I should be going home too. And I waited with my mother in the United line, and the lady at the United desk looked at both of us and was like, "Both of you guys traveling today?" And I was like, "No, just her." But in my mind, I was like, "Yes, here's my passport, please. Let's go."
Yeah.
You know,
it's like one of those things also, like when you gonna see her again, you know, when you gonna see your dad again. Like, I know those thoughts are like rushing through your head. That can't feel good. It feels bad, man.
And I haven't seen my father in 5 years. That's a long time. I mean,
I saw him.
You saw him?
Yeah.
You did?
I saw him. I got sent a picture anyway. I was like, oh, there he is. There's Eric's dad.
Where was this?
Look, it's the lads. Yeah.
I can't remember where this was. Where was this? Was this in the fam chat?
Yeah.
Probably.
I think it was.
Probably.
I think it was in the private fam chat. I think you shared it actually, now that I remember, but that was like 2 weeks ago, before you went on siesta of us never talking to you and not getting any reels or anything. So like,
oh my gosh. Tell you what,
he went MIA hard.
This is the thing, is I went MIA on everything. I've been so preoccupied with other stuff. Like I've decided this is a really big wind up before we get into the show. But like pre me taking a break, I really had not spent a lot of time with my son because I've been working and blah blah blah. So I've been more mindful of like putting my phone down. My screen time is way down, and I'm like, from the moment he gets up and actually asks us to wake up, I get up, I don't fight it, I go sit with him in the playroom, and my attention is 100% on him all day, which is the way that it should be. Because when I'm working all the time, I regret not spending time with him, so I'm actually being mindful of doing that. So that's where I've been. That's one of the reasons why I've taken this indefinite step away from Twitch, all that stuff. I need to be more present as a family person, as a husband and a dad.
I get it.
Some real talk for you there, but that's it, you know.
I live that life. Yeah. I understand.
You do.
Doing that balance is miserable. Like, it is so hard, especially when you're working and not doing content creation full time. Like it is okay, get up, go to work, do work, get done with work, come home, spend 2 hours with the family, eat, maybe get some time in with your kiddos, get them in bed, try to convince them that they should go to sleep for the next half an hour. Then you get a break and you can come down and do some content creation, edit until 2 a.m. or until your eyeballs fall out, repeat. Like, it's draining. No, like, it's draining. Misery business. Another Paramore throwback. This is why.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
but yeah,
KB, how's your week been, man?
Well, Mrs. KB, she has a bad case of bronchitis. So she had to go to urgent care a couple days ago. They had to do chest x-rays, all that stuff. And so I've been dealing with that. I've been taking care of the house, till she can join in the house cleaning shenanigans again. But that's been pretty much it. Just taking care of her and the dogs and making sure the things are orderly here, But other than that, I mean, it's just been, just doing the old Twitch grind. That's about it.
You guys are. I tell you what, you guys are grinding. You guys are going live like twice a day. Like,
not me anymore. I'm done. I'm like,
you're done. You're done with the midday.
One time a day. I am. I'm done with the middays. I'm sorry. My chat. And for those of you that came and hung out over here,
you know what?
Middays.
I don't know where the hell you guys get the energy for this. Yeah, I'm gonna go live at noon. Then we're going to take a 5-hour break, and we're going to go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like, my God, you guys are really driven. You guys on that grind.
You don't need it. You don't need to laud me with laurels.
Okay.
Laurel me with any lauding.
Oh, my God.
What do you want me to say then?
I don't know. You just tell me I'm cute, and then we'll go on about our business.
That's all. Yeah, that's
fine.
That's all.
We're twinning. You're cute, too. Look at us.
I don't know.
I wish bronchitis.
Making sure everything's going on. I can't believe she's got BOC on the bronchitis.
Has she felt bad last Thursday, and then she's like, "Oh, I bet it's just a cold," and then she just progressively got worse to where she was using my inhaler. Like, that's when you know she's not doing good. One day she spent like 24 hours in bed, didn't really want to move around or anything. So
that sucks, dude.
It was rough. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough weekend, rough week. So
I feel that.
Well, at least if anything, I hope you have a nice hour out of your week, just chilling out. And
I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping.
It's gonna be better. This nerd's been still in the freaking boot for the last, I don't know, it feels like an eternity. 3 weeks now. So going on 3 weeks. Coming up on Tuesday, it'll be 3 weeks in the boot. So she had a medical procedure done and talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Talked about it a little bit more yesterday, but it's just been like nonstop, like Mr. Mom, Mrs. Dad, like, but it's just me for the most part. And Courtney's done like everything she can to just like keep up. And she's worked nonstop too, like every day, like it's because she can't not, like she has photos that were scheduled. She's got edits that need to be completed. So like she's been nonstop, and it's just been so terrible, because the kids are going wild in the background. And I don't know how, like that's why like I've cut out a lot of middays, because I couldn't leave her alone with them because she can't really do anything for them. So she's like pumping ibuprofen and laying in the bed, and also got into a big sag like laying in the bed day before yesterday because she had to keep the boot on again for another week because they're like, you're doing too much, and she's like, no, I'm not, and screw you can't tell me what to do.
That's
pretty much been it.
Yeah, I hear you. So we've all had a week, but
good times all around, man.
Good times, yeah. Woo!
It's gonna be positive. It's gonna be positive. We're gonna be positive. You know how positive I'm gonna be?
How positive?
I'm gonna be so positive. I think I'm gonna be like 16, 17, 18 people positive, because we should thank the Patreons. Let's thank those people over there.
I want to thank all these people, these 15 people here that help keep the lights on for the show. And also, if you want to help support the show, we've got 3 tiers of content. More often, it's on like Patreon, patreon.com/Breakfast of Champions. With the pre-shows, the bonus shows, and all that stuff. We were supposed to do a bonus show this week, but I just don't think any of us had the time to do it. So we need to get back on that train and get you guys some more bonus content. And plus, I think there was another. We've done the Nerdwire story, we've done the KB story, and you guys at the end of the last one, you wanted to do the origin story of me, which I don't know.
I know. The people want to hear it. You're the whole reason. You're the whole reason anybody's here. You and your beautiful face and your awesome music sounds, and also your T-shirt, which by the way you can't get anymore. So I'm getting bleeped out. But no, like thank you guys so much for all the Patreoning, and we'll get more content.
Yep, everything's getting caught up this week. And also, I did tease an announcement for last week, but again, time stuff. So we'll just hang on. There is stuff coming. You thought the House Hunters episode was my village origin story. Yes, it's very true. Oh my God, that was if you're on the Patreon and you've seen our react episode to the House Hunters International thing. Oh my God. One of the things, there's very few things I regret in my life, and that episode has turned out to be one of them. So there you go. Now I'm turning on my system audio here for my chat mic, so just hold on, because I'm playing our voicemail that we have for today. Now this one comes from Captain Kebab. Let's have a listen to this.
Hello, this is Captain Kebab, and I was wondering, have you given up on collecting for a certain console? So I'll give you an example. To review things, James has given up on the PSP. Ho ho ho!
That's it.
That's it. I love it. That was perfect. Was that Santa Claus?
It sounded like Captain Kirk gave birth to Santa Claus. Like, it was so good. It was so good.
That sounded very Scottish. Yeah, there you go.
Oh man. Have you given up on collecting for a specific console, KB?
You just given up on collecting.
I mean, I'm getting
emulated. It'll be fun.
I do emulate a ton of things, but I haven't really stopped collecting. I just, like, for the time I've kind of paused. I mean, I imported some stuff from Japan, so that'll be that. I just got my shipping notification for that. So there's going to be some things coming from the old land of the rising sun. And yeah, I mean, I don't really get a chance to go to a lot of retro game stores, so I just kind of peruse the eBay and Mercari and see what's good and what I want. I mean, I like I said, I still want, even though physical is kind of pointless at this point because it's all degrading, but like I still want it. I still want to look at it. I still want to waste my money and look at it, you know?
There's like a few things that I still want that I'm collecting for, but they're like specific things that are very like, I would almost call them niche in some ways, but they're not really all that niche. It's like Game Boy is my heart. Like that's the thing that I've collected the most for, and it's the like Nintendo's handhelds just in general. But I mean, it'd have to be stuff like this WarioWare Twisted or Yoshi's Topsy Turvy. Yeah. Like those are the things that I would need. Boktai, The Sun Is in Your Hands. Like those are the things that I want because you can't emulate those exactly.
I just looked at that the other day.
The right way.
Boktai loose cart here. I'd drop a good 150 on that.
Mm-hmm. I want both of them. Boktai 1, Boktai 2, and like I did discover one Super Nintendo game I desperately want to add to my collection. It was really funny. I was doing a GBA retro roulette, not yesterday, but last week. Yeah. And there's this game called Phalanx.
Oh,
I didn't know about. And it's like a space shooter, shoot 'em up kind of shmup game. And on the cover of it, is this old man with a friggin' banjo, and it has nothing to do with it. So I'm like, well, what is the story behind this one? So I go look it up, and literally, like Kimco gave like this random like marketing agency the rights to like do anything for their games, and they give them like 30, 40 games at a time, and they went to Walmart and went, okay, well, what do all these games look like? So that way they could get an idea. And they were like, every single game has like some generic like graphic on there that they all look the same. And so instead of making a cover art that has anything to do with the game, they were like, we just want to make a cover art that makes people not forget the game. So they put this random dude that was a Santa Claus for a different thing that they did. He played Santa Claus on a Christmas music album. They took a picture of his butt and put it on the Christmas music album and said, hey, can you come back Bertle Valley and be on the cover of Phalanx? And he's like, sure, what do you want? And they were like, banjo. That's the end of it. I want that complete in box. It's so stupid.
I just Googled it. Yeah, that's amazing.
But I really haven't collected much of anything lately unless it's like very unique and niche. And
yeah, I feel that.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Any consoles you've given up on?
Well, I gave up on PlayStation collecting and PlayStation 2 collecting. It's pretty much was a time thing for me. And I felt like I was just collecting PS1 and PS2 last year just for the sake of doing it rather than like, here's something I'm really interested in and I'm going to play them. I probably have something wrong with me, but I don't know. I get fixated on collecting certain things, and I just drop a ton of money on things. But I feel like at least now the stuff that I'm collecting now, like N64, and now I'm going to show you in just a second here, Game Boy Advance stuff. Oh yeah, you better bet. You better bet.
A picture of your freaking Game Boy on the internet the other day, and I was like, when did he get that?
I wanted to show you guys something I did.
Baby.
Please do.
That's genuine cartridge there.
Mm-hmm. That is nice.
And I'll also say, I mean, Cody, you sent these to me not long ago. Zoid's Legacy, but I also grabbed this on eBay really, really cheap.
Hey, that's nice.
I like that Golden Sun.
I bought it on an auction, an eBay auction. I just followed it, and the eBay auction was like $20. And they were going for like 90 here. So like I ended up being the highest bidder at like $30. So I was like, how could I not? So anyway, but I feel like I'm really funny with collecting because I just pick things up and I just start collecting things in bursts. Like right now I'm looking at Kirby and the Crystal Shards and Wave Race 64 on eBay and TSC copy in Western Australia. And I'm like, ooh, do I pull the trigger on that or not? But I don't know. Amber's always like, oh, you're just like this. You just buy a bunch of stuff and then you're like, oh, we're gonna move it on. Like I don't know. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah, you get in phases, man. You get in phases. That's all.
Anyway, go ahead.
You guys, Cody? You have an analog pocket, Eric. You have one coming, right?
Allegedly, yeah.
Look at this.
Oh my god!
What resin buttons?
resin buttons and a resin. Where's it at? Back cover, dust cover.
Ooh.
Oh,
dude! I need to look into getting some resin buttons. All I have are standard buttons, but I use a DS Rumble pack for my dust cover because it also rumbles.
It does work.
That's cool. That's what I was using for mine, and I saw this on eBay, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna get them. They're like $25, and it was kind of nice taking apart the analog pocket.
That's cool. That's a good look on it. I like that green. That green on there looks cool.
They have green, blue, and I think red. So
nice.
But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I did do something kind of cool this week, I suppose. I opened up and totally voided the warranty on this thing, but like the warranty's been out for a year already anyway.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's out on the analog pocket.
Yeah, because like the back cover is just the giant battery tray.
Oh,
and when you pull that off, there's a QC sticker, and you pull that off, and it just says void all over it. So I'm like, oh well, and get that fixed.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, like this, I teased this before, but if you want to know more, hang tight, stay tuned. That's all we'll say.
Oh, we'll stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, big boys and big daddy's on YouTube now. Anyway, doesn't matter. I just need to shut up. Anyway, let's go. So I've been on a real Pokemon kick lately. There was a little bit of chatter about Little Lad in the chat, and we've been watching a lot of Pokemon movies. So I've been really into Pokemon lately. Of course, I got Pokemon Sapphire here, but did you know? I actually saw a really sad article here, and you know, a lot of people are worried about real life animals going extinct. Like, I don't know, platypuses. You know what? Who cares? Who freaking cares about the platypuses? Let's discuss hundreds of Pokemon species going extinct after Bill accidentally bricks PC. Now, this probably comes as a result of like limeware or something like that. I don't know. We're going to find out. So in Cerulean City, hundreds of species of Pokemon have suddenly gone extinct after local researcher Bill accidentally bricked his PC, which housed millions of Pokemon worldwide. Okay, so I probably can't read this on the show here, but oh my God, God. Bill was heard yelling in a Poke Center in Cerulean City just after accidentally pouring fresh water all over a router. Do you know how many Pokemon there were on those things? The whole network is down. Delmies. What is this? Dunsparce? You think these Pokemon lived anywhere outside of a computer? No, they're all gone. All of them. Oh my God, I've killed them all. Does anyone have a bag of rice? Who the hell let me be the only source of Pokemon storage on the goddamn planet? Pokemon researchers devastated by the news. Yesterday, there were 898 different kinds of Pokemon in the world that we knew of. Today, there are merely 622, said Pokemon researcher bug catcher Tom. As a bug catcher, it's devastating to know that there are several bug-type Pokemon I will never see again in my life outside of photographs. So basically, there's, you know, you guys want to be conscious of like maybe the turtles eating the little plastic wrap that the Snapple cans used to come in. Don't worry about any of that. This is the real epidemic here. So I'm very sad. It really is. Very sad to report this.
First, finding out that Yoshi's no longer being fed in 2025, and now this, like, I don't understand what we're going to do. This ecosystem is going to hell in a handbasket. Like, I can't believe this. Oh, man.
If they just want to cancel everything, just tell us, you know? I mean, you know, speaking of things getting canceled, this one isn't canceled, but however, they should have. It's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will now launch on 2/2/2024. It has been delayed to next year.
Oh my God.
And the reason they're saying is we have made the tough but necessary decision to take the time needed to work on getting the game to the best quality experience for players. Thank you to our amazing community for the continued support, patience, and understanding. There's much more to share in the months ahead, and we look forward to seeing you in Metropolis next year. I'm a little bummed about it.
Is this because it was going to be an online game? Like an online tethered game?
I was seeing a bunch of different things that there was... They management wants them to totally redo the game's direction. They want to add features. They want to take away features. It comes down to management, devs, and not missing the or not making the time they said they could do it in, which is kind of unfortunate because we all know 2020 everything was delayed, and it kind of came out that all these devs are overworked and underpaid, and I feel like that's what this game's going through right now.
Probably, yeah.
You know,
I mean, at the end of the day, who's developing the one? I don't even remember who was it. Who was it that posted that? They didn't even say who posted it. Who's the developer on that game? I can't believe that. Oh well. Anyway,
pulling it up.
Okay, but I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I mean, obviously we've heard in the past, a delayed game can sometimes make for a great game, but a rushed game will never make for a great game, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of I don't know. I haven't had a good DC. Who was it? Sorry.
It's Rocksteady.
Yep.
Rocksteady.
It's Rocksteady? Okay. So here's the thing is we haven't had like a good DC video game since the days of Batman Arkham, which is from Rocksteady.
Absolutely.
They have a good caliber there. But I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the horror stories of Batman Arkham Origins, like how terrible that was, and then Blackgate, why that got rushed out, and like everything else was just terrible. Like I hope that what they're doing there is to hopefully create a better gaming experience at the end of the day and alleviate some of the development experience from being just absolutely terrible.
Right.
So I don't know.
It sucks because, the little bit of gameplay we saw, it looked good and it looked like something you'd be down to play. And I don't know. To hear it's delayed, it's kind of sad because it's one of the ones I was kind of looking forward to.
Yep.
But what you gonna do?
Speaking of things everybody likes right now, let's talk a little bit about Pedro Pascal, the internet's new daddy. And more specifically, one of his acting ventures, The Mandalorian. They are teasing the penultimate episode of The Mandalorian. If you guys have been following it as much as Mrs. Nerdwire and I have, although I haven't had the chance to watch the last episode.
Are there any spoilers in this article?
I hope not. I don't know. I didn't read this.
I'm looking through
just
it real
pre-read
quick.
it because I haven't even seen one episode of this because I want to wait till the season's done.
But it talks a little bit about the there will be a setup for a gut-wrenching finale that could change the Mandoverse franchise entirely. One of the things that I will tell you guys is some of the focus of this season, and a lot of fans have talked a lot about. I'm not going to read from the article in order to avoid spoiling anything. But a lot of the fans have been talking about how frustrated they've been with the direction of this season because it does feel like Mando and Grogu are being slowly written out of the series and the franchise. I am curious to know what might be happening in that finale. But what Brendan Wayne, the actor who actually is in the suit for The Mandalorian, said is this next episode is going to make you wish you hadn't asked for more. It might just hurt too much. So that's the big news there. But that's not the only Star Wars news we got this week. We also got they recently had a Star Wars celebration at Disney, revealing all of the new plans for the Star Wars universe. And when you know it, they're going back to the sequel like the dogs they are, going back to the sequel trilogy and bringing back Daisy Ridley to appear in another Star Wars film set not right after, 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker. Some of the things here that is quoted by Charmine, who is going to lead the film. I've always been attracted to the hero's journey and the fact that the world needs many more heroes. Who added that she's been immersing herself in a Jedi Academy with a powerful Jedi Master. This Jedi Master was immediately revealed to be Daisy Ridley. She said, "My heart is pounding. I'm very thrilled to be continuing this journey." I don't know how I feel about sequel trilogy stuff right now. I'm probably one of the least people to go and say, "Hey, I hated that," because I didn't hate it.
I didn't.
But it's passable. It doesn't hold a candle to the original first three films with Luke Skywalker, Leia, Han Solo, all that jazz. But it also isn't in my opinion, as bad as the prequel trilogy, which I do not like. I do not like the prequel trilogy that much. There are portions of it that I think are really good. Whenever I tell people who haven't ever watched Star Wars before, watch it in machete order. Take the time to actually watch it that way so you don't spoil anything. If you don't know anything going blind, watch it in that order. But I don't know if I want to return back to Daisy Ridley or not, or if I still want to see all these side stories, because I've been a giant fan of the Disney produced series and movies. Like freaking Rogue One was phenomenal.
Yeah,
I loved Solo, a Star Wars story
too.
And people were very mixed on that movie. But I just want more side story content. I don't know that I need to have a core Star Wars franchise anymore.
Weren't they supposed to do Kenobi as a movie too? And then because of the hate Solo got, they kind of said, yeah, no, we're going to change it.
What's really funny is earlier this week, there was a new cut of the Obi-Wan series, the 6 episodes, cut down to a 2-hour film with a bunch of fluff cut out of it. And it is significantly more watchable than the series that came out on Disney Plus. And I like the series, but I think for anyone who wants to experience that story without seeing all the fluff pieces, watch it that way.
There's so much fluff.
It's crazy, but I want to return back to like those side stories or expand on the stuff that's already pre-existing. I don't need a new adventure right now in the sense that I need a core, this is the Skywalker family tree story. Like, I don't need that anymore. And I think Star Wars has suffered because they've relied too much on that legacy to build out their universe when they could. I mean, Ahsoka looks phenomenal. There was a trailer that was released for that this week. Ahsoka looks phenomenal. They got more stuff coming along with Bad Batch. They got more stuff coming along set in the Clone Wars era. They've got another season of Andor that's getting ready to come out. That's a spinoff from the Rogue One stuff. Like, give me plenty more of that. I don't need any more of the rest of this Skywalker saga family tree. And what makes it even worse, speaking of that family tree, there was a image that was posted on Twitter by a person who attended the Star Wars celebration. And it's Daisy Ridley, not the dragon from Metroid, Daisy Ridley holding her tummy, and it is full on pregnant with Force Ghost Kylo Ren's baby Jedi inside of her. I'm like, no, I don't want this. No more.
Here, I'll pull up the photo here on our React thing, because I saw this too and I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, surely, is that Rey? That's definitely Rey.
That is surely fake.
You think that's fake?
Do you think they're gonna start off a story 15 years later and then she's already pregnant, or she's already had a kid and then this kid is like something else? I don't know. There's just so much.
It's Disney, man. It's Disney. And if there's
Mother Mary.
But I mean, maybe it'll be Disney's, same Disney fashion. Oh, the dad's dead or something. You know what I mean? Or like, because Disney can't have the parents be together. That's unheard of in a Disney movie.
The dad is dead. It's Force Ghost Kylo Ren.
But if he's a Force Ghost, is he like really that dead? If he's able to get her knocked up, I mean, is he only dead from like the waist up?
See, people, this is what Disney loves. Disney loves Force kin. So they're going to do an offspring of a Force Ghost. You know what I'm saying? So there you go.
The kin of Force skin.
Yep, that's exactly right. So we're gonna see how it goes. I mean, I don't know. Star Wars has been in a really good place the last couple of years, and I'm really apprehensive of them reintroducing another trilogy. It's just like, let's just focus on all the other stuff that people would be interested in, and I just, especially considering the way that people were really salty on the Star Wars, the new trilogy, purely because of the misdirection and all that stuff. I don't know, man. Like, I'm real apprehensive to even see anything else. And Daisy Ridley to continue as well, because I thought she was really sour on all that too. I'm very surprised to see her back.
Well, that's what I was about to say. If you've got the right amount of money, like, you've got the right amount of person that's going to come in there.
Very true.
Oh man, you want to know? There were some other things that did really good in the movie.
Absolutely. So we talked about the Mario movie in great length last week, and in fact, that was our entire topic. But I saw an article this morning when I was looking for just stuff to chat about today, and this was really interesting. The Mario movie surpasses $500 million at the worldwide box office. So like the way that I'm phrasing it is true. It sounds more wow than 500 million. So the Mario movie's done really well. And this is the interesting thing. The Mario movie has entered like the top 100 animated films. It's done all this stuff. It's been really popular, and you know the Peaches song is now eligible to be submitted for an original song at the Oscars. So I mean, people are wanting more. But the one thing I don't understand is I had a look on Metacritic. The Meta score is 46, and the user score is 8.7. So even like day one, when I had saw the movie, I think before a lot of other people did, purely because I'm in a different time zone. The critic score was really, really bad. And it hasn't nudged at all. And people are saying that it's a really blind, nostalgic tribute. But yet it's the movie's grossing really well. It's doing really well between users and stuff. I just think it's really interesting that it's kind of, I almost feel like it's been review bombed by journalists and stuff. But yet it's done really well financially. So I mean, we'll definitely get more, but you know.
No
I
doubt.
complained a little bit about it. Sorry. You go, Kimmy.
No, I was just saying, no doubt. That's all. That's all I was saying.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. But yeah, like at the end of the day, and we talked a little bit about this during pre-show. Like, I think a lot of it has to deal with the fact that you've got these movie snobs that are walking in there and expecting it to be groundbreaking storyline because they've watched a Pixar movie. And Pixar movies aren't based on any source material whatsoever. It is an original idea that they do, and they create this thing surrounding this original idea that is very filmic. It is very filmic. The source material for this movie is essentially Princess Peach gets captured, Mario goes on adventure. Like that's typically that's as deep as it gets. Like it's just that's what Mario is. But like at the same time, I literally said, I was like, look, this movie is not made for critics. It's not made for critics. It's made for Mario fans. And if you're not a Mario fan, why are you watching it in the first place and looking at these critic reviews to go and decide whether or not you want to watch this? But also, just look at your user score. Just look at the user score.
Let me read some of the more recent user reviews here. I'll pull them up and we can just kind of like back and forth them before we move on to our next thing for our topic. So user reviews, from the graphical style, the characters, of course, the voices, the music, sounds, the plot, to the Easter eggs, everything breathed Nintendo, and it's amazing for real Nintendo and Mario fans. Must see. So that's a 10 out of 10. Here's a 40. Actually, no, I'll read you a 20. What is it? This is a 0 review?
That's what I saw on that screen. I was like, hold on. Should we read that one?
Seeing these characters I grew up with, regardless of their lack of any deepness, forced to fit into the most generic children's Hollywood archetypes, hurts my feelings and eyes in every... This guy has no idea. This guy's never played a Mario game.
Did he review the Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993? Did he give it a positive review?
So let me just jump to negative Metascore ones. These are journalist reviews. This is
Roger Ebert, baby.
Roger Ebert. The latest animated blockbuster from Illumination is their most soulless to date. This guy is absolutely high on crack. A film that feels like ChatGPT produced it after data and imagery from game. These people are on some really bad drugs. I'm not even kidding. And that's not even me being biased.
Nope.
Surely these people are in the back room like smelling farts in Taco Bell or something. Their brains are absolutely scattered.
Smelling farts.
We saw a completely different movie. Sorry.
Do you think they review them like a movie like this so bad because it's a video game movie? Because most movies are either sci-fi, fantasy, romance, drama, and this is its whole separate category in like video game to movie kind of thing.
I'd say
maybe they don't have a lot of experience with that.
Yes and no, but then again, Mario is yes, Mario is video game, but Mario transcends video games and is his own medium of entertainment because you've got the Mario movies, you've got clothes, you've got toys, all this junk. Mario's been around for long. It's like it'd be a different story if somebody like made, I don't know, the Skyrim movie or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
That's why I have like a really hard time with stuff like Dungeons and Dragons or World of Warcraft movies.
Exactly.
Regardless whether or not they're like good movies. Like there's a lot to go off of with those games and with that form of media. Like you can really mold it into whatever you want it to be. But Mario doesn't necessarily have that flexibility. He is an everyman, and he, as a character, has been molded into a lot of different things. Anything from a doctor to a referee in Punch-Out to a plumber to a superhero. Like, he's done everything, but it's more his avatar than anything else. And the biggest the biggest thing that you can do with this is stay faithful to the source material. And I think film critics didn't necessarily love that. I love that this was a love letter to the Mario franchise.
Yeah.
You know, the directors have done stuff like Teen Titans Go. I'm probably one of 3 people who actually like that series. I think it's funny. I think it's irreverent, and I like that. It is very much, hey, how can we look at Robin and make fun of him? And the Titans and the DC universe as a whole. They did something completely opposite with this, where they were reverent to the source material and to the characters. And a lot of them, I was listening to, there's another podcast called the All Things Nintendo Podcast, produced by Game Informer magazine. And they were interviewing the directors. They were interviewing Chris Pratt and Charlie Day, and they were interviewing Seth Rogen. And during Seth Rogen's portion of the interview, they were talking about how the original 1993 movie, they both went and saw it in theaters. The host of that podcast and Seth Rogen said, you know, I went and saw it in theaters. And the host asked Seth Rogen, you know, how did you feel coming out of that movie? And he goes, I felt leaving that movie, because I was around 11 or so when that movie came out. He said, I felt like that was the first movie that showed me that movies could be bad. And he said, when I had the opportunity to do this movie, I would be damned if I give any other kids that same experience of being disappointed with a movie going in. So, like, I appreciate the fact that they were that reverent to the source material that they went out of their way.
Well, listen to this review here. This is a good way to piggyback.
Oh, no.
Somehow, this is a 20 review. Somehow, this new animated adaptation of the video game is even worse than the abominable 1993 live action. Even the CGI is second rate. Tell me.
No way,
Tell
dude.
me.
No way. Lay off the Robitussin, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How long's it been since they saw when they de-evolved those poor dudes into Goombas? Like, that just looks terrible by today's standard. The entire movie is CGI.
What makes a good video game movie a good video game movie then at that point? Because I thought the CGI, this looked better than Minions. This looked better than Despicable Me. Like,
Yeah.
All I want is a Mario game that looks as good as that movie did.
Yep.
Like,
We'll get there. We'll
Agreed.
Get there. So we've got a really great topic that's going to piggyback off of all this movie stuff. So we're very much movie centric here in today's episode. So I hope you guys are looking forward to this one. KB's going to kick this off right after these words.
So today's topic. At what point does a movie franchise stop making sequels, and what is a movie that you would like, or that you would have liked to see get a sequel? So, like, think of, like, you know, the Leprechaun movies. There's Leprechaun 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he's in space, and you know what I mean. Think of it like that, and then think of a movie that was so good, you're like, man, I really hope they come out with a second one, and nothing. It's just gone. That's it. That's all you get.
oh man. Yeah, so here's the thing, like, kind of what you described there, like most horror franchises, unfortunately, like most horror franchises just pump that as much as they can to be able to just get every last little juice and drop out of it. Like, it feels like it's like everybody's in a boardroom and they're like, okay, we've got Freddy Krueger. What are we gonna do now? And they're like, take Freddy Krueger, but put him in a subway. And it's
my God.
What? Like, what? That's brilliant. Why did we do? Because that's what they did. And man. I think, like, personally, for movies like that, where it's like, well, what do we do, and how do we make a quick buck? And that's what that boils down to, and that's when they should stop making sequels. And one of the prime suspects of that for me is realistically there are two franchises that I love that I wish they'd stopped making sequels to. And funnily enough, they're almost horror, but I wouldn't call them horror so much as like sci-fi action.
Okay.
And that is Alien.
Oh, yeah.
Alien franchise.
All right.
I loved Alien 1. I loved Aliens.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was good.
That's it. Everything after that was terrible. Even Alien versus Predator.
Oh, I love that.
And that's where we get. Oh, you
dude! I saw that in August of like 2005, 2006 when that came out. I saw it the day before.
Which one though? There's two of them.
The original AVP.
AVP and Alien versus Predator.
AVP, like the first one. I thought it was okay.
Oh no, the first one.
I was a kid.
It's worse than the next one. But anyway,
all the Predator movies are bad, except for the first one.
That leads me into my next thing, which is Predator. I loved Predator.
Yeah.
And I love Predator 2.
Yeah.
The freaking Danny Glover. And then you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they are the kings of like 1980s action movies. Like those movies should have stopped after that or been done better. But the problem is like I mean, where do you go from there in the actual like with that story? So like Predator, every other movie after that was okay. So we've had Predator in jungle and we've had Predator in city. Now what do? We put Predator in desert. Let's put Predator in space. Let's put Predator on different Predator planets. And it's like, dude, just stop. And now, kind of back in the news segment, we were talking about Star Wars. It's like, well, we've had Skywalker without dad. We've had Skywalker with dad. And now we've got Skywalker that is mom. And it's like, stop. You don't need to keep like regurgitating the same very, very heavily influenced by the past storyline into a new film. And it's just annoying the piss out of me that they just keep just milking those series for what they're worth.
I mean, I'll tell you,
I never thought I'd be as heated up as KB on this.
See, it's anyone can do it. It's easy. The one that I don't like is Indiana Jones. Is they're trying to, you know what I mean? Let Indiana Jones retire already. How many times can he slide under a temple door? You know what I mean? And have Shia LaBeouf get him trapped in a sand pit. Like, let the man go. He's not a spring chicken anymore. Let Harrison Ford live out his best days on a ranch in Montana. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need another Indiana Jones. Like that's I liked the first three. That was it. Now we're getting all these other ones, and I can't, man. I can't.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was a friggin' disappointment.
Oh, dude, disappointment. That made me not want to watch Indiana Jones for a while.
I saw the first two. I haven't seen the third or the fourth one, and then I saw the trailers for the fifth one, and I'm like, okay, cool. But this is the thing. It's like, and this probably piggybacks onto a theme or something from this topic anyway. A lot of the good movies that we had in the 80s are still going today as spin-offs or sequels or whatever. I mean, look at the Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars has kind of turned into its own thing, and I get it because they've now done their own shows like for Disney Plus and stuff. Those are great. But as Public Enema in the chat says, too many sequels. Too many sequels. Like it's easy to like cash in on a franchise for nostalgia's sake, but eventually everybody who liked Indiana Jones in the 80s won't be around anymore.
Right.
So then where is the fan base for that? So we need to make our own things. And like there's one instance where a particular movie was brought back from the 80s, and it was more of a cult hit, I suppose, because at the time I don't think it fared very well. And that was Blade Runner.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Tron.
I loved Blade Runner, man.
Right, yeah, Tron's a different story. Blade Runner, I like the original movie. I love the concept. A lot of things piggyback off that idea, like the game Snatcher for the Sega CD or the Sega Genesis or 32X, whatever. That's cool. I love that. A lot of like new sci-fi movies, even the Obi-Wan show picks up like some shot-for-shot things of like the Blade Runner city and stuff. That's a specific look, like the Neo Tokyo, whatever. I love that. And then they brought it back for Blade Runner 2049. That was an amazing experience. I loved that movie so much. It was so good. I feel like that's one of the very rare instances where you have like a really great director that was Denis Villeneuve or whatever, who's done like Dune and other stuff, like a really great visionary person piggybacking off this beloved franchise that's kind of like a cult kind of deal. And yeah, that's that. Whereas I don't know, and then, like it's funny because Harrison Ford's in like all of those movies.
but I mean, I don't know, like that, like Cyberpunk was cool, but like there's talks about they want to do another Back to the Future movie. Like, do we need that?
No, we don't.
Do we need another Back to the Future movie? Did we need another Ghostbusters movie? I mean, it was good. The most recent one was really good, but did we need it? You know what I mean? They could have
complained about that last week. I feel like I complained about the other one. About it.
You complained about the other one. You complained about the very bad Ghostbusters movie that they decided to make. But I don't know. I mean, it's like leave the stuff alone, man. We don't need 15 Star Wars movies to tell the same story over and over. Like, there's enough holes in the timeline. They can fill all that in.
Here's the thing. Well, speaking of holes filled, this is what they do. They for the fourth trilogy sequel, they're like, Rey, but she's pregnant. It's like, come on, man. Like, God, we don't need to, this is the thing. They got that Disney board meeting. They got, I don't know, Kevin Feige. He's probably on there as like the shadow commissionary. He's like, what are we going to do? So come on.
Somebody pitches a bad idea. They get thrown out of the 50th story window. Get out of here.
Give me some original stuff. I don't know.
You know a really cruddy series that I do love having like 1,000 sequels for?
What's that?
Tremors.
Oh my god!
Dude, you guys are fans of Tremors?
Movie. I love Tremors, man. Love Tremors. It's a phenomenal. It's a phenomenal movie.
They look like
it's so bad it's good.
The sequels have been really bad, but I can't get enough of them. It's like literally, it's like Sandworm, but now it flies. Sandworm, like now it runs on the ground, like, and it is very much like here's the same thing. You can't make a lot of noise. It's got all the same actors except Kevin Bacon because he knows better nowadays than to star in cruddy films like that. But like those movies are good.
He didn't know what he was getting into.
No, but like that's kind of where I'm at. Where it's like. I think, kind of on that topic, because I know KB, he asked, what's a movie that you would have liked to see a sequel to?
Yes, of course.
That didn't get anything extra, and we just kind of sat here and complained the entire time about freaking Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark and everything else. But a movie that I love that I would have loved to have had a sequel to, that I would have loved to live in the world a little bit more. There's two of them that come to mind. Because I want to know. The ambiguity got to me at the end of Inception. And I would have loved to go back to Inception and see just a little bit more of that. That movie was super good. And kind of in that same vein, that sci-fi thriller-esque vein, I was a giant fan of Bruce Willis's Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I would have loved to see more of that. And I mean, literally, they could do the same thing and just give me some different actors in a different setting. Instead of Looper, but it's Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Hey, Looper, but it's Mark Hamill and the dude who plays the Winter Soldier. Like, let's do that.
God.
Like, no. Give me that stuff. Like, it'd be cool. Like, I want more of those two movies, though. Inception and Looper.
Okay. All right. Eric, what would yours be?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
That's where I'm at. Because I don't know.
I spent the last 10 minutes here complaining about sequels, and now I'm trying to think of a movie that I want a sequel to. Because, like, my favorite movie of all time was Lost in Translation. There is a scene. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie, but there's a part at the very end of the movie where Bill Murray and what's her name, Scarlett Johansson, stand there in the busy Tokyo street, and then she whispers something to him, or he whispers something to her. It's like it's open ended as to what is being spoken about. But like I've always wanted to know more in that moment. But that good movies are made when the stories are encapsulated and your mind wonders about those things. Same thing with like. The game I always think about is Xenogears because it just has such philosophical implications. It's a game that you play and you think about all the time because it's a thing that just makes those gears turn. Movies and shows and games that make you think. So I don't know if I necessarily need a sequel to anything because I'm really the only thing in entertainment that I want more of was the Cowboy Bebop Netflix thing. I love that was really great. They were doing some really great world building, and this is the thing that people don't really understand. Like, and this piggybacks to the Mario movie. Like, it's a Mario movie, cool. But like, if they're going to do sequels, they need to have that foundation. They need to do the origin story. Then they can go off and do other things that maybe are a little bit more deeper. So I think things that maybe need more of an opportunity or need to be given more of a chance, need more time to grow or need more time to cook or in the oven or whatever. But I mean, if I'd like to see anything more in terms of movies, probably Lost in Translation. I'd like to get back into that world and get back into that story, because that is very like a rom-com story. I love that movie a lot. It's really great. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but if you want something that's, it's kind of lighthearted and Tokyo and all that stuff and Bill Murray, it's a great film. I like that. I'd jump in again.
Sitting here thinking about two things. One, here's another franchise that needed to stop after they got like 2, 3 in. Fast and the Furious. Like, do we really need? Do we need 10, 11 movies of that?
No.
I gotta be honest. Here's the deal. I haven't watched any modern Fast and the Furiouses, but I've heard that entire franchise has completely changed, and they are doing different things. Because like I watched Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too
I loved
Furious,
it.
Fast and Furious 3, Tokyo Drift, and after that it was good. I didn't need any more of that. Like, and then, but now, like, Fast 9 is like this Transformers level, like, and that's another series that should have stopped a long time ago, Transformers, but I digress. But, like, the Transformers-esque storyline where you've got these cars jumping out of planes, and it's like watching, like, I don't know if you guys ever played Disney Productions Split Second for the Xbox 360.
Oh my God, that is so specific.
Real good. But it's like that game, but in film, and it's cool. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of half interested in watching one of the new ones. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, man. The apparently in the upcoming Fast and Furious movie, they're bringing Paul Walker back. So,
Force Ghost,
like,
Paul Walker.
All right, all right, cool. So we're gonna have his brother in the movie the entire time. All right, cool.
F is for family and Force, Ken.
Oh geez. As far as a movie I want to come, like a sequel, man, give me This Is 40, but make it like, this is 50 or this is 60, and it's Paul Rudd just an angry old man the entire time.
That's a good one. You know
what I mean?
40-year-old version part 2 would be cool. I'd like but that entire thing that ain't PC.
I can't remember. Did he stay a virgin in that movie? Okay, so he can't be the 41-year-old virgin or anything like that.
But it could
be a different person.
What if it talks about his kid? You know what I mean? What if he had a kid and then...
But then you run the risk of like That 90s Show and it being really bad.
So that's another one that's another thing that didn't need a sequel was That 70s Show.
See, he could have ended his 40-year-old virgin streak at 40. Then it's like 20 years later, his son.
Right. Born again virgin, man. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, that is so dumb.
Oh man. We aren't talking about. We're just talking about movies here, but I do want to talk about shows too, because I mean, Eric kind of mentioned Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, there was a show with freaking, I cannot remember his name. Anyway, it had January Jones in it. It had this freaking comedian, and it was called Last Man on Earth. And that show ended right on the end of it, like a really big cliffhanger, and then Fox caved underneath Disney's pressure, and Hulu was supposed to pick it up, and they never picked it up. And I'm just angry about it because that should have had a sequel, but never got it. Yes, Will Forte. I couldn't remember. I kept wanting to say Will Ferrell, and I was like, not that one. But no, I was super sad about it. And like that's the thing is like some things get sequels that shouldn't ever have another sequel. If I see, and I saw Mrs. Nerdwire in the chat say another Meet the Fockers. If I have to see another Meet the Fockers movie over getting another season of Last Man on Earth, I will burn Hollywood down to the ground.
Let's do it. Get your torch and pitchforks, man. I'm ready.
Yep. So I don't know. Those are my feelings.
Well,
there you go. I think there's always going to be things that are just turned into cash cows like Star Wars and stuff. But then there are certain entertainment IPs that just kind of transcend the original medium, like Mario, Star Wars. Like Star Wars is just it's a thing, and then that's now become a way of life. I mean, people practice the Jedi as religion, and you know what? More power to them. By all means, go ahead. as long as you don't worship the Sith Lords. So, but then again, I don't know. Give Cowboy Bebop another chance. Let's wrap this thing up.
Leave her alone.
That is says in the chat. There's a lot of reasons to burn Hollywood, and that's your line in the sand.
It absolutely is. That is 1,000%. That's my line in the sand. Do not give me another Meet the Fockers movie.
No, man. We're not getting to that. I could. Never mind. I'm not saying any of that. We'll get canceled if I open my mouth on any of that.
Oh no.
So.
Oh yeah, we both just in unison. Oh no.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we talked about a lot about movies just then, and the Mario movie was a hot topic this week and last week. Let's talk about possible Nintendo movie pitches. Now, I saw this mock-up on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whatever it was, or Google Plus or MyFace. It was like a representation of the NCU. It was like started with the Super Mario Brothers movie, then it goes to like Star Fox coming 2024. Super Metroid movie coming 2029, coinciding with the release of Metroid Prime 4. So what if you had to pick one specific Nintendo franchise that you were going to say, here's my pitch, what does it look like? What IP do you choose?
I'd go Zelda. I'd go Legend of Zelda. And it'd be
a safe one.
It'd be Link, he wakes up in the middle of Oklahoma, and he gets in his Chevy S10, and he's like, all right, and his license plate says he pwn on it or whatever, and he's going down the road. He goes to McDonald's, and all of a sudden this giant hand comes up and grabs him and pulls him into a new dimension, and that dimension being Hyrule, and there you go. And then his S10 turns into a horse. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's think of like a mixture of live action, and then he gets pulled into the cartoon world. You know what I mean? Like it could happen. It could happen. Give me in a board meeting. They won't toss me out of a window. Get me in there.
I could do the safe answer, and I think everybody's seen it online. But like legit, Brie Larson as Samus Aran in a Metroid film of some sort. Give me Alien, but Metroid. And like I think everybody's seen that. But I was thinking about it when you pitched it that way, where it's like, hey, what's your movie pitch? What's it look like? What kind of movie is it? What franchise are you going with? I'm gonna say Pikmin.
Oh my God.
I think it would be really interesting to do a Pikmin movie and do mixed live action CGI, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style, where you're in the backyard. They're on this adventure. You've got Captain Olimar, the animated. He's faithful and true to Captain Olimar. You've got these Pikmin, and they are collecting everything and avoiding giant drops of rain. Think like Ants, the movie from way back when Disney. Well, that wasn't Disney Pixar. Who the heck did Ants? I don't even. Warner Brothers. We'll just say that. Yeah. But like. That would be the look. It would be true to the storyline. And if I can't have that, well, hold on one second. Captain Olimar, voiced by Ryan Reynolds. Let's just run him in here. Voice Captain Olimar. Okay?
All right.
But if I can't have that, I want an Eldritch horror, non-faithful take on Kirby with Danny DeVito being the voice, going, I'm gonna eat you. Like that's what I want that.
Oh no!
I like the idea. Man, it's hard for me to pick just one. I think just in passing, like Annette actually made a really good point. Nintendo would sooner make an F-Zero movie than an F-Zero game because they will literally do anything but that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Pikmin as a concept is really cool. There was supposed to be a Zelda themed thing at some stage, Netflix. But something got leaked. Yeah. So they're just like, you know what?
Netflix, and they canned it.
We're not doing it anymore. Yeah. So I want to say, actually, I would go Earthbound, and it would, because Stranger Things is very derivative of Earthbound as well. So I kind of almost think that itch is getting scratched that way. Earthbound would be my number one pick, but there's things that are... See, the thing is, like, in all the 80s stuff is very derivative of everything. Metroid is very Aliens. F-Zero is just a standard arcade racer. Mario is its own thing, and now it is a movie.
Hold on now. F-Zero is not just a standard arcade racer.
No, I know.
You played GX. There's a crime thriller in there.
There's a story mode, dude. There's a story mode. I haven't seen more than the 3 levels of it because it's really freaking hard.
Shoot, I gotta play it for you. I'm good at that game.
Please do. So you know what? I'd probably say my Wild West pick. I would say F-Zero because I want to know more. I want to know more of that world. I love Earthbound. I love all that, but like F-Zero, like there's so much potential there. It would be so much more than like a F is for Family, like Fast Furious 10, like a crime thriller thing, like with Captain Falcon. That starts with him his shirt up, he's working out, like come on. You know what I mean? Anyway, there you go.
Hang on. What was that Andy Samberg movie that came out? It was Popstar, Never Stop Poppin'?
Yes. Oh my God.
No.
I want that, but Mrs. Nerva brings up a good point. Splatoon movie. I want that, but with the Splatoon, like Squid Sisters and all the like Off the Hook and whatever the new band is called. Like let's do Popstar, Never Stop Poppin'.
I love Big Men.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Smash Bros movie, but make it like Eurovision. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Yeah. Smash Bros, but make it Eurovision. They all meet at one point in like, somebody's house or whatever, then they all start like randomly breaking out in the song, and then they fight each other, and they're all just getting a big old butt whooping.
Or I've just Googled some Nintendo franchises here. Kid Icarus would actually be a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Like Greco-Roman Herculean like story.
Yeah, something like that. Animal Crossing as well, like just a really nice feel good. I mean, there's been Animal Crossing animes.
Just give that to Ghibli. Let them make it.
There is an Animal Crossing anime.
Yeah, there is. So it's really nice and feel good. A Donkey Kong thing, I don't know. Like Luigi's Mansion would be really cool.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool is like a Mario and Luigi Partners in Time kind of deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just so much potential, but like my pick would be F-Zero.
Yeah.
Ice Climbers, the movie.
Ice Climber.
But it's like that. What is that? 450 hours with like James Franco, where he has to lose his arm. I want that. Like, let's do that. But with Ice Climbers.
Oh my God!
It's James Franco and his little brother.
In a world, Nana and Popo lose both of their arms.
4 arms lost between them. Holy.
A dark and grueling story of a brother-sister duo who almost die on the slopes. I don't know.
Documentary style.
Whatever.
In there you go. World.
Anyway. Oh man, that was good. I like this. I think Hollywood should hire us at this point. Let's get hired on.
What if they got to lose?
Right?
Well.
What do they have to lose? Not a thing.
Plenty.
There you go. Well, I think this was a really great episode today. I hope everybody enjoyed our little program today. Just remember, if you're listening on Spotify and iTunes, please leave 5 stars. If you're listening on iTunes specifically, you can leave a written review. So more of those is better for growth and algorithmic possibilities. And yes, we can also discuss maybe next week or even in the comments in our YouTube video of this, who will portray us in the Breakfast of Champions biopic.
I'm interested. Now I'm sold. I want to know. I can't wait till next week.
KB would be played by Danny DeVito.
I hope so.
I'm gonna eat you.
Danny DeVito in a wig. Let's go.
Have you seen him? I don't think he needs it anymore. There was a commercial he was on playing a saxophone, and he has this huge like skullet all the way down his back. Like what the heck, dude?
He's feeling it, man. Get him in a fedora and a cheap suit. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I'm about it.
Well, don't forget, you can also support the show by going to patreon.com/Breakfast of Champions for more content more often, plus all the bonus shows and all the pre-shows and all that good gabagoo, as our good friend Chris Pratt says. Any other final words here? I mean, we'll flick over to our post show so we can like casually end it after this. But any final words here for episode 37 before we go to our post show?
Don't forget your towel.
That's what I was waiting for.
Okay. Don't forget your towel.